right. Hey, everybody. Coach Stacy, Lynn here. I am happy to be here today. Good morning. So it is still morning. It is morning. I'm here with my boy here. Wait, where is he? Where'd he go? Where's my boy? There he is. Anyway, that's my old dog. Anyway, hey, I am here. I wanted to come in here today, do a short live. That's all relative. I know, I get it. About a movie that I saw about a week ago. It's called the Narcissists Playbook. And I'm going to share my screen in a little bit. But first thing I want to tell you is that if you don't know who I am, I'm Coach Stacy Lynn. I'm a certified master Christian life coach. And I grew up with a narcissistic mother. And my mom wasn't just a narcissist, she was a covert narcissist. And she actually probably was a sociopath. Okay. So one of the things that I deal with here on this channel is I actually talk about my experience being raised in that environment, but I also, as a coach, help people with this stuff. And over the weekend, the Narcissist Playbook had kind of a weekend launch, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna share my screen here, and I'm gonna share it. Wait, hold on a minute. I'm going to go over here so you see this. Okay, so this is actually the YouTube channel of the Narcissist Playbook. I'm not going to play the trailer. I thought about it, but then I thought, nah, I'll just let you guys go over here and check it out. So this is Mark Vicente. He actually became very well known for being in the cult Nexium. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, he got out, and he's gone through his own recovery because, of course, he was, dealt with a narcissist. Actually, the guy's probably close to a sociopath too. But anyway, and then in the movie, you also will see this person. This person really ticked me off, to be honest. She's a female narcissist. She has a YouTube channel here. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can find that out if you do the playbook thing. But what these people do is they literally what this movie does is it highlights what these narcissists really do. Okay, and I can tell you, if you've ever been a survivor of somebody like this movie, you will resonate with it, but it may trigger you. I'm going to tell you that right now. It can be overwhelming. There was a lot of people who were in this thing this weekend who were overwhelmed, a lot of therapists, some coaches. Want to let you know that Dr. Romney here, she was kind of the lead psychologist talking about what narcissism really is, and I highly recommend Dr. Romney's channel as well. I'm going to stop sharing here because in my mind, Dr. Romney is probably the number one expert on narcissistic abuse. And her book, It's Not You, I can't remember if I don't think we did anything on YouTube about it, but when it came out, it hit the New York Times bestseller list. I led a group through that book. I actually led a book club with about 30 people. And so Dr. Romney gives a great framework, but this movie will show you, it will give you the experience of being taken by a narcissist and sociopath and Machiavellian, or whatever you want to call it, and all that. So it's independently produced film. The low donation to get it is $20. Okay, but with that, once you get inside their platform, you will have access to a lot of workshops that other professionals did. And so if you're like, oh, $20 is too much, no, it's not, because you get the whole thing and they're going to be updating it. You get a whole community. I wouldn't be on here promoting it if I didn't think it was worth your time to check out and do it. So yeah, so that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the Narcissist Playbook. For me, it was highly interesting, because if you've ever been targeted by a narcissist, these people are calculated and they are cold. And they are people who pretend to be full of empathy when they're not. They're often very grandiose, and they are very subtle often with what they're doing to you, the way that they groom you and love bomb you and then devalue you and all that. And I will tell you that a narcissist will do whatever they can to make you feel sorry for them. And the classic Darvo tactic, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. If you've never heard that before, I will just say that Darvo is all over a narcissist, So I just wanted to share that today. And I wanted to also encourage those of you who have gone through that. If you need somebody to help you through some of this stuff, this is an area that I am very, very familiar with. I've been very trained for over 6 years on this topic. I have studied this topic intensively. And I will also say, honestly, that it's kind of cool that, when I went through my recovery 20, 30 years ago, and I was really working through all the effects of my mother and the narcissist that she was, what was really cool for me now to look back and see how a lot of the things my therapist did with me back then are now mainplace today. My therapist was basically before her time. I will tell you that right now. She's awesome. She's still wonderful, and I love her to pieces. But she actually, the Lord gave her some wisdom and insight 20, 30 years ago that is just really now mainstream with this whole topic. And I just want to say one last thing, and that is that it is never your fault if you are taken by a narcissist. Never. They target you. I heard Dr. I can't think of her name. Carrie, I think it is. Dr. Carrie. I can't think of her last name. But she likened it to how they groom you. So, like, let's say I am an employer and I have a job position that I want you to fill. Like, so you want to apply to me to get a job at my company or my nonprofit in this case. Let's say I want a social media manager and I want you to apply for a job. I would give you a whole list of things that you need to be and do and have in order for me to even consider hiring you. Well, that's what narcissists do. They have a list, and maybe it's not written out, but they have these calculated ways of doing things in order to victimize you and set you up and trap you. And I mean, I grew up with this. I could tell you so many things that my mom did, aside from the real evil things of handing me over to be abused by a relative, which she knew. She had calculated it. She calculated it in order to get what she wanted, right? Like, I'll give you an example of something my mom did. And it might seem minor, but it's really not. And part of when I came to Christ, this was one of the hardest things for me to explain to people at the church I went. I was a teenager, right? And I'm trying to explain to people, no, my mom, no, she is really this way. Before we knew all that language in the 80s, this is when this happened for me. My mom was a monster. She had a mask and she would take it off and and if you've ever seen a narcissist mask slip, you know who they really are. And I will tell you, I was in a relationship with a business coach that I recorded all my sessions with her. And I'm glad I did, because I would have went crazy if I didn't see the reality of what she was doing to me behind the scenes. But like, one thing my mom did, and it, like I said, it sounds so benign, but I was about 16 years old. I had a bike. I was riding my bike everywhere, a literal bicycle. And one afternoon, my mom said, I'm kind of wanting to exercise some. So can I borrow your bike? Do you want to sell it in the garage sale? Because I'm going to have a garage sale. My mom loved garage sales, and she would con people at those garage sales. And I said, no, I like my bike, you know. And she's like, well, but you got a car. You can drive your car instead. And she goes, but I would like to get some exercise. So do you mind if I borrow your bike? And I said, I was in high school. I said, yeah, okay, sure, go ahead. You can borrow my bike. When I came home that day from school, my mother had sold my bike. And when I asked her why, what the heck, she's like, well, you said I could borrow it, which meant in her head that, uh, that she could do whatever the hell she wanted with it. And in her mind, that was sell it. So she could get the money. Did she even give me the money? No, she kept the money because she borrowed it because I said she could borrow it. That's how they set you up. They set you up in 10 million different ways, and you will feel crazy until somebody else sees what you've seen. And I mean, I can tell you this because I have lived this. I have lived it. I not only have lived it as a professional in media and ministry, but I lived it growing up. And I can tell you, gaslighting is real. The grooming is real. And I think one of the things that is not talked about enough is grooming and how people are groomed, right? And I'm not talking like, oh, your hair is groomed. By the way, for those of you who who watch all my videos, thank you. I want you to know I found somebody to cut my hair finally. So I think I'm getting it cut next week. So I'm excited because it's way too long right now. But anyway, but when people groom you, what they do often, one of the things that they do is they will um, give you a little bit of stuff here, you know. And that's what happened with me and this business coach. I was so convinced in this with this business coach that they actually knew what the heck they were talking about, that I would do anything to get coached, but I didn't have enough money. So they actually convinced me to work 10 hours for 1 hour of their time. And then they didn't even give me all my sessions I earned, right? Because in my mind, I was like, oh, I can learn so much from this person and all this other stuff. But they actually convinced me to work, and they led me and strung me along. And then they preyed on my compassionate, empathetic self. And while they were pretending to be that way. And I was telling my husband um, over the weekend, I'm going to go a couple more minutes and then that will be it. But I was telling my husband over the weekend, I said, those of us who are truly empathetic, um, it's hard for us to really believe that there are people out there who pretend to be. And I know with this business coach I used to be in a relationship with and that I actually left on my own, that she would prey on people because she could see that they had quote weaknesses, but she could also see that they were sweet and kind people. And I remember telling a friend of mine who was going to hire her to coach, I said, no, do not do it. Do not do it. Because I know she would have gotten, she would have royally gotten ripped off uh, and all that. So, they groom you, they try to convince you of one reality when they're actually planning all this other stuff. And um, yeah, it's just not cool. But I was telling my husband that that I am a sucker, right? And I'm putting it right out there. I am a sucker for a wounded animal. I am a bird watcher and I absolutely love birds. And of course, squirrels now because when you feed birds, you get squirrels. Okay. So they come together and you either hate the squirrel or you love the squirrel. So I grew to love squirrels too. And how can you not? They're very cute. Well, anyway, this one day I had this cardinal come to my bird feeder and I happened to notice it had one leg. And so I jokingly named it Bob because it was a male cardinal, Bob, and I actually have video of this cardinal just, and he would flap his wings to balance and he would do this stuff. And he even had a girlfriend or a mate. So they would come and they would eat seed. And I was like, man, I wish that I could rescue every one-legged bird and all that. And a number of years ago, my husband and I, we were going to adopt a dog. We went to a shelter. There was this black lab and it had a cast on its leg. And there was all these other dogs in the shelter, but that dog had a waiting list. That dog with a broken leg had a waiting list. Why? Because truly empathic people were lining up to rescue this dog because it had a broken leg. Um, and, often what happens is if you're truly empathetic, you will find people, you will be a people fixer. You will naturally, people will be drawn to you because you can help them, or they know that you care. Um, Narcissists are not that way. People are drawn to narcissists because they're charismatic. I mean, there's a lot of well-known narcissists. I think the number one narcissist in America is Donald Trump. Okay. Donald Trump, admittedly, is charismatic. The man became wealthy with real estate. He had to know how to sell. And I will tell you, number one, probably, I can't confirm this, but one of the top professions of a narcissist is sales. If you ever wondered how somebody can sell you something and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't need this knife set or whatever. Anyway, Donald Trump, he is like he is a grandiose narcissist. He thinks he's better than everybody. He thinks America's better than every other country on the planet. Everything he does turns to gold. He even calls this the golden age. We're entering into the golden age. So anyway, people are drawn to it. So they're not drawn to Donald Trump, though, because he's full of compassion. Oh, no, they're not. They're not drawn to that. They are drawn to, people are drawn to narcissists because they charm them, because they make them feel loved, they love bomb them, they groom them, and all this other stuff. So anyway, if you're full of empathy, just consider that. I do, again, just want to reiterate, check out the Narcissist Playbook. If you go to this site here, actually, I'll share this site here. I will share it if I can see it. There we go. If you go here, this is the Narcissist Playbook. It says .uscreen. Just go to narcissistplaybook.com. You can see here, you can rent it for $19 or $20. And look here, it says empathy not included. This is true. There is no empathy with the narcissist. You can go here, you can watch the trailer. I was going to play it, but I decided not to. And you can learn a lot more. That one of the cool things about this is, let's see, I'm going to share this tab instead. I wonder if it will come up. It's loading. Okay. This over here is in ChatGPT, okay, which, by the way, I guess got hacked or something, and I guess ChatGPT now is hacking all other AIs, so that's just another story for another day. But inside ChatGPT here, they have they have developed this thing called the Survivor's Playbook. You can go in here and you can ask questions about narcissism, and it will actually give you legit information that is human-centered companion for reflection, pattern recognition, clarity. You can go in there, start putting in the symptoms and all that stuff that you're dealing with, and this Survivor's Playbook will actually help you. So that's one of the things you'll get. You'll get access to when you get this film. So get it. I mean, just know there is a big twist in this thing. You'll enjoy it. Well, maybe not. It makes it good. But it's unsettling. So if you've ever been a survivor of narcissistic abuse or a sociopath or anything like that, I really encourage you to watch this, but I also encourage you to get some support because you might need it afterwards. I know over the weekend I felt anger, I felt frustration, I was mad, but then I was also like, yeah, this is so good. So anyway, check it out. And again, if you need to talk to somebody afterwards and you'd like to set up a one-on-one appointment with me, you can do that also on my calendar. I'm going to be updating that. If I haven't already, I got to check, make sure. But I only update usually a week out because my schedule changes so much. So I hope you can check that out too. All right. Hope you have a good day, people.